Hello, hello, and welcome. We are glad that you are here joining us for this special Mother's Day tribute. My name is Daniil Clark, and I have the privilege of pastoring the Lincoln Northside and Holland District of Churches, and I'm joined by the mom in the house, my beautiful wife.
Hi, I'm Raquel, and happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. We'd like to welcome those who are watching on Facebook and on YouTube. We hope that you enjoy this tribute that we have prepared specially for you.
Yep. So, this is something that we hope you will participate in with us. So, if you have a tribute you would like to share, type your tribute, and then hopefully the mom that you are typing to is watching as well. Get them to watch. We're going to put your tribute up on the screen, and we'll have you participating as we go along. Or if you want to participate in some of the questions we will be asking as well during this time, reflecting on the journey of a mom, the maternal care journey, the pathway through that. So we want you to participate by typing either your answers or additional questions, your experiences, or a tribute. Type anything you would like to type, and we will be interacting with you and putting your comments up as they come in. So we hi Marcy. There's the first comment. Marcy
Hi,
Deacon,
Marcy.
hello. Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you. And we're glad that you are here. Here's a poem that we found, Raquel and I, yesterday. It's called A Mother's Love, and it's by Helen Steiner. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll read that for you. A Mother's Love by Helen Steiner. It says, a mother's love is something that no one can explain.
It is made of deep devotion and of sacrifice and pain.
It is endless and unselfish and enduring, come what may.
For nothing can destroy it or take that love away.
It is patient and forgiving when all others are forsaking.
And it never fails or falters when all others are forsaken.
It believes beyond believing when the world around condemns.
And it glows with all the beauty of the rarest, brightest gems.
It is far beyond defining. It defies all explanation.
And it still remains a secret, like the mysteries of creation.
A many splendored miracle man cannot understand.
And another wondrous experience of God's tender guiding hand.
Just such a wonderful poem that we found, and I hope that you found inspiration in that tribute honoring moms. Today we have a special lineup for you and some friends joining us. So yes, I am here. I'm not a mom, so I am paying tribute to all the moms. A mom is in our presence. Raquel, my wife, to our beautiful son Jude. He is 2 years old, but we are joined by a bunch of other moms, and I'm going to bring them onto the screen right now. There are a few more friends of ours here with us today. So glad that they are all joining us, and I'll go ahead and unmute their mics for you so you can hear them as well. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this Mother's Day tribute. Happy Mother's Day to
Happy
all of
Mother's
you.
Day.
All right,
Hi,
I'm going to
thank
take the
you.
opportunity to introduce yourselves a little bit. I'll go in the order I see you on my screen. I don't know if that's the same order you have on yours, but just tell us your name and a little bit of your parenting background. You know, you have a child, 2 kids, grandkids, what have you, where you are right now as a mom. So Cheryl, starting with you.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Kaiser. I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. My husband and I have been married 53 years, and so therefore my children are in their 40s and 50s. I really enjoyed raising my children. I also really enjoy having the grandchildren and spending time with them.
That sounds good. Thank you, Cheryl. Courtney, you're up next on my screen. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you here. Go ahead, Courtney.
I'm Courtney Bassett, and I have just had my first child. We're about 10 weeks in now, and my husband for 4.5 years now. So I guess I'm representing the new mothers. I'm new to all of this.
Sounds good. Welcome, Courtney, and congratulations. You know, we're excited for you and your growing family. Caitlin is in the house. Kate is how she has her name spelled on the screen. Kate, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Caitlin Wyatt. I go by Kate sometimes, and I am a new foster mom. This is something I wanted to do since I was a child myself, and I'm happy to be a foster mom now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. And thank you for what you're doing in this unique iteration of maternal care with those who need it the most. So Corinne is up next on my screen. Corinne, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Danielle. So my name is Corinne McNeil, and I have been married to my husband, Seth, for going on 11 years at the end of this month. And we have two beautiful little daughters. One is 4.5, going on 5, but almost looking like it's hitting the teen years. And then I have a 13-month-old. So.
All right. So quite the variety on here. Some with multiple children, some with one with foster care, one with a newborn, one who's got more experience going with kids and grandkids, and so we have a number of moms on our chat. Hey, I'd like to ask a question, and I'll just go ahead and mute some of your mics here for you as well. Yeah, it felt like there was a little bit of background noise in there. But when you want to speak and share something, please unmute your mic and share. Here's one question I would like to ask, and I'd appreciate a perspective from all of you and you. What about motherhood makes you most happy and fulfilled? We want to honor you as men and as kids and as people who do not understand the wealth of motherhood, but we also want to hear from you and to learn from you and to kind of get your perspective. So that first question is for you. What about motherhood makes you most happy and fulfilled? By the way, moms, as you're watching this, if you're not on my screen, still type your answers. We'll put them up as well, and type tributes and so forth as we go along. So anybody want to take a shot at that first? What about motherhood makes you most happy and fulfilled? Remember to unmute before you speak.
I'll take a shot at it. What makes me happiest is seeing Jude smile. When he's happy, then the world is okay. And yeah, that's the greatest pleasure, just seeing smiles on his face and just hearing cute things that he says. It can blow your mind, and sometimes it's not the appropriate thing to laugh, but it's really nice just to watch him grow and develop and to see him happy.
Awesome.
I guess for me, it would be when she imitates me. I love seeing her go into my closet, putting my shoes on, playing dress up, walking around the house like mommy. That's very, very flattering, very endearing. I am also pretty fulfilled when she actually corrects me, which kind of happens quite a bit.
Yeah, that's kind of like some of the intelligence coming in and thinking for herself.
Because I guess I know at that point in time, whatever I'm trying to teach her is sticking. So one example, I went in one day into our bathroom, and she was dumping a bunch of dirt into the sink. And of course, you're like, oh my word, what's happening here? And so I said, Gabby, what are you doing? And, she saw the panicked look on my face, and, her immediate response to me was like, Mom, I thought making mistakes was a part of learning. And just right away, there was nothing else I could say. I was completely blown away by my 2-year-old at the time when she said that. So
I tell you what, it seems to me that is a tribute to you, because she came up with that because that was taught to her. Yes. And that's a good lesson that you instilled in her. And now she's just kind of reproducing that which you've put into her, and that's good.
It just came out. So I don't know. I let her continue dumping stuff. There was nothing I couldn't respond after.
Yeah.
So yes, I let her make the mistakes. So
that's
that was
awesome.
an interesting job.
That is awesome. Hey, Cheryl, you've been thinking about this for a while and experiencing this for a while. What on your journey has turned out to be something that's a happy moment for you, or has made you most fulfilled?
I think there's a couple of things. When I see them work hard for something, like maybe study for a test or prepare for a new job or whatever, and they succeed and they're happy. And then now that they have become parents and I see how they interact with their children, and I appreciate how they do things sometimes similar to what we did, but sometimes the newer generations do things different and it still works.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And just to be able to see that the effort put in and success coming out and children being happy, I can hear my own mom saying something like that. Just to kind of see kids growing up and being happy. Katie, you told me that Kate, you you told me that that foster care is a relatively new thing for you. In fact, I think you've had your first experience with 3 kids that were staying with you, 3 young children. And I don't know if in that two young children, my apologies. I don't know if in that time you've experienced something that filled your heart. What was that like for you?
Yes, so it was a crazy experience. I had 2 children under 3 by myself for 24 hours or 22 hours, but close enough. And I am single, so I'm a single foster mama, and I had so much appreciation for moms after I did 2 little ones under 3 for 22 hours. But what was most fulfilling, because you're running around and one's crying, you're holding the other, you're getting food, you're doing baths, all those things. But the most fulfilling part of it was when they would finally just I remember the one little boy would just, when he fell asleep, he'd fall asleep in my arms. And it was like the most precious thing, I think, as a sleeping child that's just snuggling with you. Like there's nothing else in the world where I feel better than a child just sleeping on me. So it was the most fulfilling. It made those 22 hectic hours completely worth it during that respite care experience.
That is awesome. That is awesome. We have some participants on YouTube and Facebook sharing their happy moments as well. And I wonder, Raquel, go ahead and read that first one for us.
Carol Penrose said, seeing my children parent, the best gift they have given me. Sorry.
Oops, I apologize.
The best gift they have given me is my grandchildren and the fact that they're raising them and sharing them with us.
That's awesome. And Marcy Deacon also had a comment here that she has 2 37-year-old and a 30-year-old, 2 granddaughters. What makes me happy is my son has brought me flowers since he could walk. Amanda made me happy just to see her smile. So there you go. Just kids responding with love and care. And that's just the happy moments being a mom. Courtney, you've got your 10-week experience of motherhood here. And what's been making you happy in that time?
So I'm in an interest because my baby is so little, he can't even reach out to me when he wants me. But just to see him start to be able to actually recognize me when I come in the room and just to watch the joy fill his eyes, that's wonderful and just overwhelming. And also just, it's amazing how even the littlest things he does, when he holds his head up for a little bit longer, how happy that makes me and how proud I am of him. And he's, that's all he can do right now. But it's just amazing to watch him grow and to see the love he has for us. And he, is so tiny at this point.
Yeah. I remember when I met him just before all of this, this quarantine, the pandemic broke out and so forth, and just such a precious little boy. I love your son. He's awesome. There's another question that we have here for you, and it has to do with in hindsight, you look ahead to being a mom, you anticipate it, you look forward to it, and then it actually happens, whether as a biological mom, whether in foster care or something, it happens. And what for you was the biggest surprise? What was like, whoa, I was not ready for that, or I didn't think of it that way, or what was the biggest surprise for you as a mom, Raquel?
I would say how engaging it is. It's not something that you can turn off at night. Like you're accustomed to doing stuff and dealing with people, and then there comes a point where you just blank them out if you have to. But with a kid, you cannot. 24 hours. Well, it's not 24 hours anymore. It's just a cycle that keeps going and going and going. And it never ends. And then it's not just to keep them alive, but to think about the things that you need to do for them so that they grow up to be good people, healthy and decent human beings, and the enormity of the task did not hit me until I had him in my arms,
Yeah.
and my mind kept going, and it just never stopped, and it has not stopped.
So the biggest surprise for my wife, and I resonate with it, is there wasn't an on-off switch that came with it. So where is the off switch?
Turn him off.
So, or just just the overwhelming nature of that. Anybody else want to chime in? I think I might just. Hey, we're gonna ask all of you. So Cheryl, what's a surprising moment? And that surprise might have been a while back for you. Now that you've been at this for a while, but what do you remember as being a surprising moment?
Well, I was always the kind when I was told not to do something I didn't. I was told to do something I did, for the most part in growing up and through my teen years. And so when my children showed more rebellion than I was anticipating, or more, I don't want to do that, or independence, it was like, oh, now what do I do? But I also think these things that happen between mother and child give us a big insight into how our Heavenly Father relates to us.
Yeah.
And we can understand that relationship so much clearer after being a mother.
It's true.
I have heard that. I have heard that to be true. And I believe that to be true. In fact, the Bible even says it in some places. I think, in Isaiah 66, when the prophet is trying to express, God through the prophet is trying to express how God is going to comfort Jerusalem. The best way he can describe it is the way a mother comforts her child. And that's the love of God as expressed in the Bible by God himself. He says, here's the best way I'm going to express that passionate love for you, and the way I'm going to express it to you. It's the way the mom loves and comforts a child. Courtney, what has been a surprise for you? I'm going to guess it's more recent in your experience than Cheryl, but what's a surprise for you so far?
I think the biggest surprise for me, I agree with Raquel, is just how all encompassing it is. Especially at the beginning, you bring home this child, and it's like, okay, now what? That they need you for everything, and your whole life basically revolves around the child, and they're so helpless. And I agree with Cheryl as well. I think it is a picture of what God does for us, because we don't even know how to ask God for what we need sometimes. All we know to do is to cry out, and then he comes to us. So I think just also the level of anxiety, everything that happens, is he okay? Is he going to develop okay? Every bump, every scrape we are worried about, but also just the overwhelming love. It's just all your emotions, I guess, are heightened. And it's something until you experience it, I didn't really realize the depth of.
Yeah, that's right. We have some more comments coming in, and Jessica is joining us on Facebook. She says, struggling for 7 years to have children, now being 17 weeks pregnant and being a foster parent of almost 4-month-old. Wow, Jessica, that's quite the journey and quite the whirlwind. And we've been praying with you and journeying with you along some of that path as well. We're glad to see how that is unfolding, and we hope that you're finding joy in this season. And happy Mother's Day to you too. She adds another comment here that Raquel.
She says, and also caring so much for a baby. I've only been caring for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think that's the foster care child that she's referring to.
Baby.
Now I'm going to let my wife read this next comment, because this next comment comes from my mother-in-law, her mom.
My mommy. Happy Mother's Day, mommy. My mom says, my biggest surprise and the scariest moment was being told by my doctor 2 weeks before my daughters were born that I was going to have twins.
Yep. She is one of a twin. She's one of a twin. Happy Mother's Day to Raquel, and happy Mother's Day to Roxanne.
Yes,
and while I'm at it, happy Mother's Day to Deidre, my sister as well, and my mom. And okay, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. So let's see, where were we on this? Caitlin, did you talk about this yet? A surprising moment for you in that visit that you've had so far?
Yes, I would say the most surprising for being a mom, especially a foster mom, but all moms, is the lack of control you have over your children's lives. I mean, you have a little bit, but really there's so much that you can't control that is just open, the things that, you want to protect them and keep them safe as much as you can, but ultimately you have to just learn to put them in God's hands. And I know specifically with foster children, I don't know where those two are now and what's going to happen to them. I don't know their history of what's already happened. And so I kind of feel helpless in a way, like I don't have control over it. So to really have to just give it to God and say, ultimately, God, like you are in control. You need to protect them and keep them safe and be with them.
There you go. And again, thank you so much for to all of you for what you do, even through these surprises. Those who've been commenting online here and through Facebook and YouTube online that way. Corinne, wait, did we talk to Corinne yet about this? I'm lost on my order now. Corinne, tell me a little bit about a surprise that came your way in being a mom.
Oh man, there are quite a few. I guess I mess up quite a bit with Gabby. There are times when I promise her that we'll do things, but we don't do things, or we don't do things right then, and we have to redo things, or I have to. Man, sometimes it's very hard, and so one of the things that has surprised me the most is how easily she forgives me when I mess up. And that was not something that I ever thought. I guess what I'm saying is I definitely can relate that to how God can view us when we mess up so many times. He's so quick to forgive. Yeah. My daughter has shown me that part of God that I guess I just have never seen before, to that extent. Another thing that has surprised me is kind of just showing how selfish I can be sometimes. Just as everybody else has been saying, it's an all-consuming task, and you had your life prior to a child, and then you have your life post a child, and as wonderful as motherhood is, sometimes you need to be able to take that time to be able to recharge, rejuvenate yourself so that you can continue to give and give. And, sometimes I'm just like, oh my word, I just need a small moment.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, I thought, oh, I'm just going to be the best. I'm going to love on them all the time. And then I realized, wow, I actually do need a time to step back and take a moment and take care of myself so that I can continue to take care of them. So that's been an interesting thing there. And one of the things is that I remembered from way back when I was in Florida, not yet a parent, and getting advice from a parent. She said to me, one of the things that you will never realize until you become a mom is how selfish you were. And now, and she's like, you're going to have to put that all away because, you're going to have to realize that these little people depend on you for everything. And, being able to pour yourself out is not going to be something that you can do in and of your own strength. It's definitely going to have to come from God. So I've realized that like again and again and again. So lots of other things, but those are some of the top ones for me.
Yeah, and speaking of little ones, our little one decided to make an appearance here. Decided to stop by to say hello. He was occupied on the outside, and just say hi. Say hi. It's like, no, I won't. I will look at you. I will not speak to you. Anyway, that's some very powerful lessons and things that I've heard and perspectives. This recent comment by Corinne talking about how forgiving children are and how they just seem to forget and give you a clean slate, and that is such a true and valuable impacting attribute of God himself, and it's a reality that he gives us a clean slate in our lives as well. Now, I have a special little tribute here that I would like to share with you, and then we'll close out our conversation with the last couple of questions. Just kind of how do you stay encouraged? What do you do to refill as moms? and then any final things you would like to share with our viewers today. So before you, while you think about that, and before you share that, I'm going to go ahead and play for you a tribute that was put together by some of the gentlemen of the Lincoln, Northside, and Holland District of Churches. Some of them have shared their thoughts, and we'd like to play that for you right now.
You're a dog mom, you're a cat mom, you're a kid mom, but most importantly, you're a hubby mom. Happy Mother's Day. Love you. Say love you. You wave.
Happy Mother's Day. Our mother is beautiful and kind. Yep. Happy Mother's Day.
Courtney, Gideon and I want to tell you that you're an amazing mom. We want to thank you for all that you do for us, for your love, for your sacrifice, and your tender care for our little family. We want to tell you that we love you and we are blessed to have you, and we want to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
I am a little woman. I'm a writing great at Northside. May Lord, you have one him a day, Lord, Papa, and your own among every time. And for that, I thank you for that. Only that you welcome and given me life in her and in your own gathering. And also prepare my build as well. Remember, you have gone in the door for me, and I am on a big thank you to you, because you have made a huge difference in my life. I thank God that you all are in my life. Now, for that, thank you for everything. Have a happy Mother's Day.
My dear bride, the love you have for God has been such a blessing to me and to our children. I thank God continually for the great love and pursuit that you have of Him. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
I want to say a huge thank you to all the women of our church. Whether you are a mother of 50 years or of 2 days, all the work you do is so awesome, tremendous. We thank you so much for it. You guys are truly amazing. You are always there for us when we are sick, when we are sad, when we're happy. Whether life throws us curves or things are just going normally, you're always there and you make life so much better. So we thank you this day. We celebrate and honor you for all the work that you do. Thank you again. Happy Mother's Day.
Emily, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I want to thank you for being with me through all these years. I want to thank you for helping raise our children. And I'm glad that God has given you the gift to help with Bible studies, baking bread, canning, all the things you do for all the people. I want to thank you for everything you've done. And I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Joanna. We wish you the best. This is from Amelia and I. We love you a lot. We pray that God may continue bless you a lot and may grant you all the desires of your heart. Definitely, You are being a very great blessing into our life. And again, Joanna, we wish you a happy Mother's Day. Feliz Dia de las Madres.
To my mom and all the other moms out there, how can we begin to say thank you for all the love and gifts and time that you've shared with us? We really appreciate you. I am so grateful that we have moms, that God gave us moms to show us the kind of love that He has for us. In Jeremiah 31, He says He loves us with an everlasting love. And it's moms that really have a way of showing that to us and demonstrating what God is like. We thank you. We love you. We thank you for sharing your hope, your comfort, your joy with us, your all the meaningful things that you say and do. We love them. We appreciate them. We treasure those in our hearts. We look back at our childhood and thank you for all the patience that you gave us. And now as adults, we really treasure those moments, and we continue to thank you for how you continue to shape our lives. You really don't understand how meaningful it is that we look to you and see God's love coming through you and all the things that you do and say. So thank you, we love you, and God bless.
When I think of maternal care, one of the words that comes to mind is sacrifice. And it's a unique kind of sacrifice, I believe. From pregnancy through early infancy on the other side of the womb, a mother is always giving of herself emotionally and literally physically. And I also have had the joy of experiencing and observing motherly care in ways that I believe are second to none in these ways and so many others. And so to my mom, Jackie, and to my mother-in-law, Anne, and to my wife, Raquel, on behalf of our son, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for everything that you do. And may God's presence and love and sacrificial care fill you to overflow. All right. Well, we thank you so much for all those who participated in that video, and also to Mike Teal, who put that all of it together and all the editing together. I apologize, a little bit jittery there, and I guess we will post that separately when we so you can go back to our YouTube or Facebook channels and watch the proper thing in its smoothness, if you'd like to go back and see those tributes again. But happy Mother's Day to everybody. We don't want to keep you much longer, but we do want to ask you in a nutshell, maybe we can combine these two just as a final word here. What do you do? How do you stay encouraged? What do you do to refill? And what might you say as a final encouragement to moms watching this live stream? How do you navigate the joys and challenges of maternal care, and how do you frame that as an encouragement to other people?
I would say talk to other moms, because you will feel like, hey, maybe I'm not doing this right. We see other moms up there and they seem to have it all together, and that may put pressure on you to be something more that you really don't have to be, because they're going through those same struggles. So I say talk to moms, spend some time to take care of you. My dad always says, when mom isn't happy, nobody's happy. And that's as true as it is. A mom, the mom is the heartbeat of a family. So take care of you so that you can serve your family well. And finally, keep your relationship with God going, because ultimately He's the one that will guide you. He's the one that will show you what you need to do. He knows the answers to the greatest problems in motherhood. So keep your relationship with God going.
That's a good word. Thank you for sharing that, my dear wife. Cheryl, what would you say as an encouraging word to moms, and how do you stay encouraged as a mom, as a grandma? How do you stay?
Well, I like to read. I like to communicate with other women, parents, and find out what worked for them, or maybe get advice. But it never ends. When your child leaves your home after they maybe leave high school or college, you never quit thinking about them every day. And even now, when they're raising their children, we still communicate and sometimes want to figure out what's going to work best in their training.
Thank you. It's good to stay in touch and keep fellowship and have a community, is what I'm hearing so far, and do things that you enjoy to stay afloat, stay encouraged, stay giving, and stay loving your children and giving your best. Courtney, what are you doing to stay encouraged, and how would you encourage young moms, especially those who are kind of in your phase of motherhood right now?
I think you have to be willing to accept help from others, because motherhood is difficult. It's the most demanding and important thing I think many of us do. And so asking spouses and family for help, but also remembering that God has blessed you with this child. He's entrusted you with them, and that he's going to equip you if you ask him for help. So just finding time as you can for yourself to sleep and do the basic things to recharge yourself, and also to just spend time with God and ask him for help, and he'll give it to you.
Thank you, Courtney. Powerful words we're hearing here. And Carol Penrosa is watching now, and she also mentions from her perspective, finding the time to spend with God. My devotional time with my journal and my Bible is what keeps me centered. So maybe that's something that you as a mom might consider if you're not already doing it. Thank you, Carol, for that suggestion. That's a wonderful suggestion you've made. Kate, what are you doing? Part of your post on Facebook that I saw when those children came by to experience your care and to be in your home was that there were some overwhelming elements of that a little bit, and even the journey itself. I followed your Facebook posts for a while, and the journey itself and applying and getting certified and all of the foster care processes. What do you do to stay encouraged? What do you do to overcome the disappointments, the waiting, the overwhelming experiences? How do you stay centered? How do you stay encouraged?
Yes, definitely. Well, once I started the process of starting with the training and the home study, it took about 7 months. And so during that 7 months of waiting, I just kept praying, and I just knew that in God's timing it would happen, and he'll bring the right children to me. The children that were with me, that Danielle's referring to the post of my appreciation for mothers, some of the things I wrote in those 22 hours, so much happened. I thought, I'm going to be a great foster mom. This is going to go smoothly. And it was really nuts. I ended up getting 4 hours of sleep. 2 of those were on the floor. The one child would only fall asleep if I held him while I was standing. And so my arms were so sore the next day. But during that time when there were meltdowns till 1 a.m. in the morning, what helped me and encouraged me was being able to cry out to God. And it kind of reminded me of Hannah before she had Samuel, and how she goes to the temple and she's just pouring out her soul to God. And during that night when I just wanted desperately to sleep, and I wanted both children to fall asleep and stop crying, I just cried out loud to God and said, God, like, help me, I need you. And it was comforting to know that I wasn't alone, that he was right there with me. So I encourage us, before children like Hannah, to cry out to God. And once you have that child, cry out to God. He hears you and he is with you.
Amen. Wow. Thank you so much, Kate. Corinne, how are you staying encouraged as a mom of 2? And what keeps you centered? How do you refill? And how would you encourage moms out there?
Well, I try to make sure that I keep my hobbies going, or find something new that I can look forward to doing. So right now, I paint. I paint using watercolors, or do coloring, or just anything that is able to give me that little bit of a relief and a pause. I make sure that I try to surround myself with mom friends, because being able to just talk it through with other moms, just to be able to say, I can't do this anymore, just to be able to express that and have them say, no, you can. It's just really, really a blessing. And to have moms who keep it real as well. saying, yeah, I went through that. That's going to be okay. And also just finding little things to look forward to, whether it's that, sip of chocolate milk that you have in your fridge, something that you can look forward to each day will help to get you through. And then finally, I mean, people have said it again and again and again, but obviously it's God. You cannot do this alone by yourself. You have to have and find time to make that and keep that connection with God, whether it is in the super early morning, whether it is literally in the middle of your lunch on a busy day, or right, before you go to bed at night. You need to have some little time when you say, okay, God, and you just kind of tell him all about it, and you just kind of pause and sit there and wait. And sometimes I do that when I am rocking my little one to sleep in the nights, and I can, as I'm rocking and I'm looking at her and I'm praying silently to God, it's some of the things. Those are some of the things that just help to keep me really focused and help to remind me that I can do this and that He is giving me the strength minute by minute to do it.
Yep. I get to observe and experience that that's the way maternal care exists. It's not a day by day, it's a minute by minute, and the need for strength in that journey. Such encouraging words, listening to it from the experiences of those who are on this journey as moms. And I want to say a very special thank you to all of you on this call, on this video chat. Happy Mother's Day to you. Thank you for what you are doing and who we have represented here. It's a variety of experiences, a variety of perspectives, but each and every one of you gives care to people who need that kind of care, and we thank you for what you do. Those who are watching online, which seem to be a few of you here, we thank you so much for tuning in. Mom says, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and I resonate with that too. May God continue to bless you all. Thank you again, Kenny. Kenny was watching, so Kenny was on this video tribute that we had earlier, and I see that he's watching, so good to interact with you, Kenny, and thank you for your participation in that. Marcy leaves the last word of encouragement: stay in prayer and let God guide you. I think she is speaking from experience there as a woman of prayer. I know Marcy from the Lincoln area, and we thank her for her participation as well. So I want to close out here our afternoon tribute to parents, to mothers, not just to parents, but to mothers in particular. And there's a poem that I'll just kind of read at the end here, then we'll wrap it up. So it's a poem that's it seems to be anonymous, the author. It doesn't list, but it says it's a mother's prayer for you. I said a Mother's Day prayer for you to thank the Lord above for blessing me with a lifetime of your tender-hearted love. I thanked God for the caring you've shown me through the years, for the closeness we've enjoyed in time of laughter and of tears. And so I thank you from the heart for all you've done for me. And I bless the Lord for giving me the best mother there could be. I offer that as a tribute to all of you, those who have joined us live on this conversation and those who've been watching and participating. It's certainly a poem that resonates and comes from the hearts of many of us who want to say thank you for what you're doing and for staying in this and for the sacrifice that's involved in being a mom. We have another comment here. This is from one of our friends from the Holland Church, Emily Lewis. Happy Mother's Day to all. And to you too, Emily. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a good opportunity to get together and to pay tribute, not only as gentlemen and kids to moms, but to have an opportunity as part of the honoring of moms to listen to moms and to hear how the experience has unfolded. I think if we were to get the full picture, we'd need another several years on this live broadcast to get the full picture of how this journey has gone. But it's certainly a taste and an opportunity for us to be even more grateful for the joys and the sacrifice that this is. I have no greater joy, Emily says, than to hear that my children walk in truth. May God continue to bless. And that is her comment as far as that which brings her joy, that which brings her happiness as a mom. Thank you, Emily, for that. So I think that is it. I'm going to show my friends' faces one last time here. Thank you all for being on this broadcast. Thank you for the perspectives you have shared. You have all, including my wife, you have all blessed me in my perspective and outlook on maternal care today. And we look forward to enjoying the benefits of God's refilling presence and love, not only for me, but for you, and especially for you as moms. As you give, may God's love fill you and give back to you 100-fold. And may you find strength and peace and hope as you trust in him. Thanks again for watching our broadcast today. We'll leave this up as an archive so you can go back to it, or if you know of a friend or two who might be encouraged by watching this, hey, send them by our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. If you're not yet a subscriber, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the Lincoln Northside SDA Church, and click the bell notification beside that. You will be notified the next time we go on live with content for you. And Facebook, same thing. If you follow us on Facebook, we will be able to send you notifications of when we're going live next. Until the next broadcast, God bless you all, and may his presence shine brightly in your experience. May he watch over you and give you his peace now and always. Thanks so much for watching.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.